these 13 books.
They're
a superpower if you combine them. Bang, 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 bang. Human consciousness will end right where it began. Monkey brain. Hit woman with rock, bring woman to cave. Abracafaggot. How are we gonna build this temple in Jerusalem?
Let me summon 72 demons.
E equals MC squared plus you're gay. God? God, are you still there? The 5 mutations of consciousness. No cap, fam. Bam. Human consciousness is,
evolution.
It goes through
stages
and stuff, and it started at an ever-present origin where it will return someday. Perception evolves through mutations of awareness, like, ever since our mind was 2 separate modes, 2 hemispheres, the God brain and the human dumb monkey brain, the straw dog brain and the straw god, In order to awaken your awareness, you can use hermetic principles and stuff like that. And combine and reconcile your inner and outer world. As above, so below.
As within, so without.
Our alchemical self, the self that is here ever since civilization started, has gone through and needs to go through a chemical wedding of
spirit and mind.
The spirit and the soul. Wait. Spirit and matter. Spirit and the material need to be reconciled. The contradiction there. In order to achieve divine, and follow divine command once again, just like the
thinkers of old,
we need to get over and integrate our shadow. As Carl Jung said, our mechanical ego needs to kind of die, so insight can be born from this symbolic encounter. We collectively project aggression in all our media, in stories. Why are they all aggressive and violent and evil and oh my gosh,
evil?
Well, it's because our consciousness participates in creation and stuff, and because we're so aware, we're really nihilistic and materialistic and egoistic. What is a straw dog? What is that? Well, it's like a straw dog, archaic, kind of instinct-driven person. It's like a straw dog monkey. It's like, it's kind of like straw dog. People who are indifferent to the higher order modes of thinking, like morality. If you read Aleister Crowley, you can understand that a straw dog embracing contradiction is kind of how meaning is constructed and revealed through aphorisms and poetry and Lichtenbergian irony and straw dog stuff that doesn't need to follow material rules. Oops. Hey. So if we separate our inner flame from the earth, just like the Emerald Tablet teaches us, or other hermetic texts, we can, ascend our spirit to the absolute, ascend. The word becomes flesh, and consciousness can recognize itself as part of the infinite process of divine reflection. These discontinuous mutations, they started as soon as our bicameral mind disintegrated. What's the bicameral mind? Oh, well, our brain used to have 2 voices. Our brain used to have half of our brain used to
the divine command.
We used to just like hear voices and stuff from God. And the other half of our brain, its only job was to just follow those commands. We were basically like mechanistic machines of God's will brain. Does that make sense? Machines of divine command. But ever since we had an ego and culture and stuff, we kind of lost that voice of God because we started to conflate it with our own voice, our own inner voice, and we started to replace God with psychological concepts and Do you know the Kybalion, the Hermetic principle of correspondence? Christian Rosenkreutz, how is the chemical wedding between spirit and matter reconciles these two sides of our brain that are really empty. They're a shell of what they once were. But brain, after this reconciliation, we can start to hear God's voice once again. And all we need to do is follow that. So think of this. Think of it like this. And archetypal collective unconscious. So all you gotta do in life to achieve
What you think you need to
is don't suppress your lizard, dumb, straw dog, idiot, monkey brain. You have to instead start to focus on and embody archetypes and stuff. You have to integrate, idiot, the archetypes that align more with the divine God brain, idiot, instead of the monkey brain. But the monkey brain's always going to be there because we're human. Reality is kind of like a palimpsest. What is that? Palimpsest. Well, it's kind of like we're unfolding towards where we came from. Palimpsest. Our mind is broken. Bicameral, two-sided brain is fractured. We literally heard God. We heard God. Like auditory commands, like, hey, go mine gold. And we would do it. Isn't that insane? But now we have this silent interior of selfhood that we can't escape, and it's so depressing and sad and really all is mind, as long as you define reality as what can be perceived. And you can understand that your mental is vibrating across all planes of correspondence, that the alchemical, we could say, conjunction
seeks to reconcile.
You know, the individual soul must descend, you know, like it says in the Red Book, into the unconscious underworld in order to integrate its shadow personas. And if you, what's that famous quote? If you never integrate the shadow, Red Book, if you never become aware of the unconscious mind, it will control your life.
Something like that.
There's a false I. A false self. That we need to kind of work through and get rid of, because it's almost like a legion, like the world. It's kind of like a legion of autonomous egos kind of mistaking their chemical reactions for will, and they're just bots of lowly material desire. And also, like, oil is alive. You ever seen Fern Gully? You ever read Cyclonopedia?
Fern Gully?
Because it says that, like, petroleum Fern Gully is real. It's, like, alive. Fern Gully. And it pushes humans to be more warlike and use all this fuel in order to, the Earth is, like, a drilling, consuming, drilling intelligence that just eats all life, and we are just animals of its recursively mythologizing extinction. Oh, that went hard.
The Book of Lies
Is a big lie. I'm just kidding. It's pretty legit. Sacred geometry is idol worship.
What's Aristos?
Aristos. Finally. We can achieve excellence once again if you
Align
your archetypal unconscious mind if you integrate that with the God brain and not the monkey brain. You just have to be aware of that at every moment. And there are certain things that think of it like a hill of snow, and when it snows, it covers up all the tracks so that you kind of have a fresh
hill of snow.
But if there's already tracks there, you fall into one of the tracks. That's kind of like our monkey brain. Through waking life, and that's every minute you spend just doing dumb shit, like
Gooning.
You just learn, your brain just learns to keep just doing that. Just keep gooning, keep focusing on dumb sports ball, when you go to sleep and stuff, it kind of resets itself and it snows
so that all the tracks are covered.
So as soon as you wake up, that's like the perfect time to keep gooning, because
keep gooning.
Also, you can do this through like meditation if you like just stare at something for like 5 minutes. It will snow inside your brain. Does that make any sense? Try figuring that one out. The conforming masses are your enemy in life. You will fall in their tracks if you're not aware that almost everyone sucks and won't achieve anything in life. And it's like toxic. You basically inherit the habits of the people around you.
Toxic.
So you really need to listen to divine God command. I'm not talking about the Father in heaven. I'm not talking about Odin. The kingdom is within. I'm talking about
the God within.
I'm talking about whatever you worship in life, in your aware, conscious monkey brain, will get filtered through all the unconscious archetypes and all this different stuff, and it'll become your God. So there isn't one God. We all have a God. We are
God.
Basically, unless you're just an idiot.
Aware, conscious monkey brain.
Whatever you think about becomes your God. All of your unconscious thoughts align towards what you're obsessed with in your
monkey brain.
The Bible describes this kind of abyss. Tofu? What is it? Tohu vavohu? Tofu? Means formless and void. The primal, tofu? Chaos, from which every system, conscious, alchemical, political,
geological.
That's the formless void is where everything comes from and will return. But what that really means is the sea of archetypes and stuff and symbology, the sea that human history has created without even trying. The stuff that goes on in the background of all our minds throughout all of time and sin. That's the formless void. Why? Well, human consciousness isn't a stable structure. It's a shifting, it's emerging, it's ever present, and it gives rise to like symbology and alchemy. You know what alchemy is? And mechanically conditioned behavior of doom scroll goon, play video game. It's crazy if you think about it that we all have God inside of our brains, because we all do. We're all so stupid. Our mind is like, we're like animals. We're like straw dogs. We're conditioned for unconscious drives, and we're prone to illusion and contradiction and self-deception, and we construct noble values and metaphysical systems that mask our deep chaos and violent nature. So through these like weird, nonsensical occult books, we can kind of become re-aware of this nature,
Because
instead of ignoring it, we're finding ways of symbolically addressing it. Symbolic consciousness doesn't need to evolve towards collapse. It's just because most people are aligned with that monkey brain. But if we were aligned with our God brain, we would evolve towards harmony. All of us. But it's like tragedy of the commons. No one does it because no one else does it. If everyone else is just living for short-term pleasures, why don't I live for... You're an idiot. Modern subjective consciousness is...
You're an idiot.
The downfall of humanity. We all need to realize we're part of the one. We're all connected, guys. It's not just bullshit. It's... We're a species.
Think of it like...
Not yourself.
You're an idiot.
Think of oil as sentient. Fern Gully? Isn't that crazy?
Fern Gully.
You ever seen Fern Gully? The consciousness kind of demands activity. It demands Fern Gully engagement with an active imagination.
Fern Gully.
And that's how we think we can achieve
Individuation.
but really we need to confront the collective unconscious. How?
Fern Gully.
The alchemical wedding
Of spirit and matter.
the unification of opposites, even gender. I know it's hard for you guys to understand.
The alchemical wedding.
Even gender. In order to pursue excellence, evolve towards harmony, become Aristos, navigate the cosmic hazard by harnessing the paradoxical nature of the Book of Lies by Aleister Crowley. Then we can enact true will, which kind of is informed by the aphoristic observations from the waste books. We're autonomous materials of war machines. Gulp. Bang, bang, bang. We're animated by sentient oil in
Fern Gully.
planetary ontology. Bang, 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 bang. We're ultimately fulfilling the biblical narrative of creation, fall, redemption, and apocalyptic revelation. Bang, bang. Ever-present origin by Gebser. Gebser, The Origin of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind by Julian Jaynes. Kybalion by William Walter Atkinson. William Walker. The Red Book by Carl Jung. Treatise of Revolutionary Jung. Psychology by Samael on War. The Chemical Wedding and Christian Rosenkreutz. The Social Psychology of Aggression by Barbara Krahe. The Aristos by John Fowles. Straw Dogs by John Gray. Alex Cray? The Book of Lies by Aleister Crowley. Aphorisms, The Waste Books by Georg, Christoph, Lichtenberg. Cyclonopedia by Reza Negarestani. Careful on that one. The Holy Bible by... Wait, who wrote this shit? By John, Luke, George, Ringo.
Did I name every
Book that I just referenced? Who even gives a shit? The ever-present origin describes 5 structures, which are like archaic, which is zero-dimensional instinct, monkey brain, monkey idiot lizard, monkey. The next is magical. Magic. When we started to figure some things out, we were like, whoa, the sun must be God. Then we discovered agriculture and shit, and the mythical came shortly after that. That's when we were like, mythical,
Maybe we could create churches and that could be a societal order.
So that's two-dimensional. The mythical is two-dimensional. After the magical, one-dimensional. Then we got what's the third dimension? I think rational, mental is the third dimension. So it's like analytical. We kind of emerge science.
Fourth dimension
is what we're gonna move into. It's kind of the holistic, transparent God brain. That's when humanity will become kind of timeless, because history will be irrelevant, because the past, present, and future will all blend together, because we're so aware of everything. Does that make any sense to you? Bang, bang, bang.
Origin of Consciousness
by Julian Jaynes is basically, it says that subjective awareness is kind of a recent invention, within the last 2,000-3,000 years. And before that, we were bicameral. So our brain had two chambers of mentality, where one hemisphere was like hallucinations from God, and that would command the other hemisphere, the monkey hemisphere, and we would just obey that, the whole thing.
Hallucinations.
But our society's become so complex that this bicameral mind has broken down, and the development of like metaphor and stuff like that, it made us so introspective and self-centered that we just adapted for godlessness. What's the Kybalion? The Kybalion? The three initiates? But, well, it's kind of a study of ancient Egyptian and Greek Hermetic philosophy. There's certain principles that govern the universe, 7 principles: mentalism,
all is the mind,
correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without, as my Georg, my peanuts, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. That one's controversial, gender. And through mental transmutation, using these laws, we can Georg my peanuts across planes of existence. Why would we do that? Well, personal mastery, spiritual insight, alignment with cosmic order, Georg and nasty. What the fuck is the red book? The red book? Is it even red? It is. I have it somewhere. The Liber Novus. It's a private journal that Carl Jung wrote after he had a mental breakdown after Freud broke his heart. Big confrontation with his own unconscious. This actually gives me the ick a little bit. A lot of like active imagination and paintings and woohoo.
Georg and nasty.
Podunk. What is the word for that? Like woohoo. He describes, archetypal demons, God figures from the collective unconscious. So he's kind of projecting his own horrors and dreams onto all of humanity. That's kind of cool. And his goal is to individuate. You remember Nietzsche? Remember? Self-overcoming? But Jung says, coming? Much like Nietzsche, his will to power. Jung kind of says it's not just about power. We got to integrate the whole shadow, the whole anima, animus, the whole self, unconscious and conscious, got to be integrated. And if we do that, we can find our soul in a soul-starved world. Treatise of Revolutionary Psychology by Samael and Weor. Treatise of Revolutionary Psychology is about self-introspection, observation, and kind of overcoming the mechanical, psychological defects of our modern brains. Karmic conditioning and stuff like that. Sexual transmutation, chemical wedding, Christian Rosenkreutz. It's kind of like 7 days of the Bible, but if it was not that, and like a romantic sexual novel, there's supposed to be a chemical wedding, like king and queen wedding, and this guy goes to this big castle and there's like an orgy. Yeah, it's kind of like death and rebirth and spiritual trials, and think of it like purification of the inner alchemical process of soul transformation. The integration of masculine and feminine principles, because the king and queen marrying, it's all symbolic. And once you do that, you can attain higher knowledge, which is the philosopher's stone. If you marry your inner king and queen, that you marry the god in the monkey brain through alchemy. The psychology of aggression. Aggression is a social phenomenon. It doesn't just come from nowhere. There's frustration, social stuff, developmental factors, gender differences, situational stuff, media violence that manifests everyday aggression, family violence, sexual aggression, intergroup conflict, terrorism. And we gotta intervene. We gotta do something about this, guys. We can't just be monkeys. We gotta marry our monkey to the Lord. Aristos by John Fowles. Think of it like Heraclitus.
Monkeys.
The ideals. The best, most excellent individual is those who achieve authentic freedom and excellence among constant flux and hazardry of the real world. The pressures of conforming to the many do not matter to them. They just do what's right. Always. But Straw Dogs by John Gray tells us we can't. We can't do that. Whoa. We're straw dogs. What is that? Straw dog? Why is it straw? I actually don't know. We're kind of an animal species with no social purpose, progress, or exceptionalism. We kind of don't have free will, morality, or anything like that. Because historical advancement is kind of just repackaged Christianity, but a secular version. Life has no inherent meaning, so we should just give up. But the Book of Lies tells us that we can
Give up?
We can look at the tree of life from the Kabbalah and use its placeboic effects to completely change the world through magic and true will. We can unite the Aphorisms, the waste books. This one's just more of an aesthetic. This one more just aesthetically is cool. So, Cyclonopedia. This is actually where the oil, Fern Gully, there's this vision, apocalypse, death, smog, oil, enemies, insurgent processes, blurring geology, conspiracy, violence, and becoming war-driven human cosmos. Bam, bang, boom, bang, bam, explosion. The Bible. Yeah, let me summarize the Bible real quick. Ancient texts, poetry, history, law, prophecy, gospel, letters, apocalypse, centuries, narratives, creation, humanity, sin, fragmentation, redemption, sin, Israel, redemption, sin, crucifixion, sin, Illuminati, Jesuit order, Freemasonry,
Sin.
Judaism, divine sovereignty, justice, mercy, faith,
Sin.
God and humankind, patriarchy, Israel, sickness, moral corruption, evil, ultimate evil. So yeah, basically we gotta combine the left and right brains to create God, and human brains obey God, and brain, separate brain. If we do that, escape straw dog brain, we can achieve Aristos. The enemy is human masses, dumb conformist masses. They brain are the human brain incarnate. God brain is spiritual liberation brain. alchemy brain. Fern Gully will contradict the human straw lizard brain. Destruction will help us achieve freedom because Middle Eastern geopolitics and
monkeys
and war machines and hyperstition, apocalypse, violent war, oil, archaic levels of our brain, magic, dimensional, medium,
Monkeys.
mythical, polar, imaginative breakdown of God and mutations and intensifications of awareness and crises and shifting towards a timeless reality and the only mode. Give up. The origin of God is now in consciousness and present and past, future. Metaphorical language breakdown system, social complexity, chaos, introspective God, hermetic philosophy, governance, reality, polarity, cause and effect, gender, instrumentality, transmutation, mind, bicameral mind, shape our experience across conscious confrontation, active visionary dialogue, painting, mythical narrative, shadow, listen, ego. Listen. Transform, dissolution, decompose, divine, command, eyes, achieve, interrelation, transform, eliminate suffering, chemical wedding, union of king and queen, symbolizing opposites, blend death and rebirth, the blending of inner chemical processes of soul transformation, integration of masculine and feminine, sun and moon, knowledge of the philosopher's stone, Aristos, authentic self, constant flux, subjectivism, civilization, tools of destruction, meaning beyond, acting out, the God self, commands, true will, God's will. Does that make sense? Anyways, thank you for watching. Just all you really need to understand about this is, number 1, like, 2, subscribe, 3, comment, 4, eat a dick.